option whenever I am dimensioning. So it makes dimensioning very quick in this case. Now we can also come in here, and this was remember I placed a hole. Well, we can come up here and we can select a hole callout command. And so I want a hole callout, and I want to be able to place it, and it knows what the size of that is, and I can put in the quantity of what that is going to be. Now that we have this, we want to be able to create a drawing, and I just want to create a new drawing. In this case, I'm going to just have what we call a quick sheet. This enables us to quickly place the views out onto our sheet, and you can see that we've also placed those manufacturing dimensions from our flat automatically get placed onto our dimensions. You can also see that we have our etching is also placed out here. And if there was a dimension that you forgot to place, that's fine. You can just come in with your smart dimension, and you can always place the dimensions at any time. Now, next thing we want to be able to do is we want to be able to come in here, and we want to be able to place a bend table. And this bend table will allow me to select inside of here. You have an option of how you want this to be placed, if you want a title, what kind of columns that you want to include, but we simply just want to place our bend table out here, and you can see that we have them labeled, our sequences, and all the information including the angles, the radiuses, what is its direction, and what the include angle is for this particular part. We can also come over here, and even in our isometric view, just to kind of show you this, we can also place accurate dimensions inside of here. If I didn't want a diameter, maybe I wanted a radius, I can quickly go up there and change that. So you can see with top-down design inside of Solid Edge, creating sheet metal parts is very easy, very quick. There's much more to our sheet metal designs than what we are covering in this particular demonstration, but again, we just wanted to show you how all this works. Now, next thing that we want to do is we want to be able to come in here, and like I said before, we have a cover that's going to be placed over our part, and this part that we designed, and that's what we call a system design. But before I do that, I said we have a pin fastener that we want to place inside of here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to come over here, and we're going to take a look at our standard. Now, standard parts can be configured. You can use many different databases for the designs that you're doing. In this particular case, I'm just looking at a subset of our database, and I'm just looking at the pin fasteners, and also we can see that we have some other bolts, nuts, fixtures, but I'm just focusing on the pin fastener that I want, and it was a 4mm part, and I just want to go ahead and place that inside of our assembly. And with our standard parts, they already know how to put themselves together. So all you have to do is simply pick the items, and we automatically place them inside of there. Now, to do this, all I have to do is simply drag and drop this out here to bring out another one to make our design go a lot quicker. And again, they already knows how to put itself together. So within a few mouse clicks, you're able to place those in there. But next, I want to be able to mirror this part, so we can simply come in here and mirror. We're going to select a reference plane that we want to mirror about, and then what are my parts that I want to mirror, and simply just go through, select them, and you can see that we have some options of how we want, or how you actually rotate this one or mirror them. Since it's a simple part, we'll just place them inside of there. You can see how quickly that is. And then next, we want to be able to place what we call a system design. Inside of Solid Edge, we have the ability to take parts, subassemblies that we have designed and place them into what we call a system design. What is a system design? A system design remembers how you assemble your parts into your assembly. So you can see here that we have some constraints that need to be applied, and you can always know what the are just by inside of this little dialog box here, but we also need to place some mounting features inside of, and these mounting features are basically how your assembly needs to have these features or cutouts. They can be protrusions, they can be cutouts, it doesn't matter. In this case, we needed some air holes to be placed inside of this part whenever we place this LCD panel inside of here, so that has some cooling to this particular part. So you can see it can be any type of feature that can be added to any other part inside of your assembly. Now next, what we need to do is we need to create a cover from this. Now this cover actually came from a AutoCAD file that we have. And so what we want to do is we've already brought it into Solid Edge, into our drafting, but it is one that we've had from another design before we had a 2D system, or before you have a 2D system. You can take this information and start building a 3D part from it. What do we mean by that? Well, we have a tool called Create 3D, where I want to create this as a brand new part, and I give this a scale of 1. I want to use my front view, and I'm going to use this as my view that I want to start with, and I'm just going to use this other view. And notice that we're actually taking, and what we do is we automatically place this into 3D space for you. And then from that, we can easily, just using synchronous design tools inside of Solid Edge, be able to create this information. And the one thing I want to point out to you is, as I pull this out, notice that we can utilize the endpoints that are placed inside of from our AutoCAD file, but notice the dimensions. The dimensions automatically jump to the part, and whenever they do that, then we can instantly start making changes to our parts. And notice that Live Rules is picking up that symmetry is available, and so it maintains that. So that's the design intent that was built into the 2D file, but is now inside of our 3D file. And here we just want to go through and start adding some style to our particular part. So let's just make this one 2. And then the next thing is we want to be able to thin wall this. But before we thin wall, we really don't want these cutouts to be a part of the thin wall. So let's just go ahead and remove them. But we're not going to delete them in the sense of we'll never see them again. We just want to particularly just suppress them, or what we call detach them from our part. And now I can come in here with a thin wall our part. Now we can see that this particular feature here needs to be shortened, but as we do this, you'll notice that Live Rules picks up the fact that there's coplanar and there's other coplanar faces that it is finding. And so what we can do is we can easily turn off that, and you can see that now I can just move this one. And if I look at the back view here, we can see that we need to go to this point, and notice my 6 changes now to a blue dimension, and that is the dimension now that I can precisely start making some changes to my part. So if I want to change it to a different dimension, I can, or switch it back. And so you can see that I'm using this manufacturing information from our AutoCAD file directly onto our 3D model. Now remember those holes that I deleted? Well, we want to be able to bring those back. So I just want to simply just say I want to attach those back to our model, and you can see now that those are exactly the way I wanted them, need them to be designed. Next, we have some mounting posts that we need to place inside of our part. So we're just going to come over here, grab that information, and we can pull it up and see that we have a protrusion. If you push down through the model, we'll actually get a cutout. But we want to tell the system, go ahead and add, no matter which direction I go, I want you to add that information. But what is the height of this part? Well, the height of it goes to this endpoint right there in my model, and you can see that our dimensions now attach, and now I have a new dimension added to there as well. So that's how you can bring 2D information into and make a 3D part from it very, very quickly, very, very easily. So we're going to save this, and let's just call it cover. And what we want to do is we want to be able to place that now into our assembly. So we can just come directly over to our library where we saved it, simply drag and drop it in. And now I can just easily grab and select how I want this to be assembled. So we're just going to let Solid Edge help me out and understand what I'm picking. And I can get Quick Pick to help me out as well. And we see that part fits in there, well, not all that great. So what we need to do is we need to be able to make some modifications. Well, that's the great thing about Solid Edge, is that we can synchronously make changes to this part. So if I want to just go right into this part, I can take a look at, while I'm still inside of the assembly, but let's take a look at a top view here. And I just want to window around and grab this information. You can see that we grab the faces that we want to be able to change, and then we can be able to precisely input inside of here. One, we can see where this needs to be, but maybe we know what that value is, and we can precisely put that in there. Now, one of the things as you do this with top-down design is that you see that you instantly have some interferences, but maybe some changes that you did make were ones that you didn't need to. Right? In this particular case, I didn't need to move this inside face, and so I can easily pull it down to where I no longer have that particular interference with those other parts. And let's just put in 4.9, and you can see that we can precisely put that in there, and now we know we have a true fit and function of our part. So you can easily see how top-down design inside of Solid Edge is very easy. And we can also see instantly we have some information here that's also being interfered with that, but that's real easy. So again, just like what we've been showing you with top-down design, how easy it is for you to come in here and you can just grab onto a plane. We can project this information, and then we'll be able to select a single entity. Even though this is an open profile, Solid Edge will still understand that, and we need to go ahead and remove information rather than add it. And now you can see that we have true fit and function of our part. So now let's go back to our top level assembly, and what we want to do now is we want to focus on the ability to design a very stylized plastic part that will go into that covers the entire assembly inside of here. And what we've done is we've had an industrial designer